Okay, so yesterday we learned how to complete the square, but what we noticed was that all of the leading coefficients were 1, okay? So let me go ahead and fix this. Go ahead and complete the square for A and B for me. Complete the square just like we did yesterday, using what you know about completing the square for A and B. So you should have taken that middle term, divided it by 2 to get negative 2.5, correct? Then you took that 2.5 and you squared it. 2.5 times 2.5 is 6.25. And I write it to the side. And I asked myself, what do I do to 6.25 to get 8? Add 1.75, and that's correct. Well, it's supposed to be Z. Okay. So then I go to the next one, and I take 0.6, and I divide it by 2. What do I get? 0.3. And then I take the 0.3, and I multiply it by 0.3, and I get 0.09. What do I do to 0.09 and get 1? Add 0.91. Guys, it's like money. This is 9 cents. This is $1. Okay, so yesterday we used the skills of completing the square to kind of force it to be a perfect square. Today, we have to look at problems like this. Now we see the leading coefficient is not 1. So it's going to cause us to have some extra work to get it in a vertex form. This is basic vertex form, right? What are we missing in that vertex form that could be added to it? The A. So that's what we're dealing with today. Now we're going to deal with A's that have a value on it, whether they shrink or stretch the shape. So we're going to have to do a little bit more structure to break it down and get it into a perfect square. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this on a test. You would first try to factor, non-factorable. Then you look at it and you say, okay, it tells me they want me to rewrite it by completing the square. So my first step is going to be to isolate that C. So I'm going to take the first part and I'm going to isolate the C away from the first and second term. Then the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the A. Okay, I'm going to move it to the left and get it out of my way so that I can get into completing the square. Okay, so I'm going to take out a 2. And that means I'm going to get x squared plus 8x plus 3. So now I have isolated the C and the A away from the middle terms so that I can now complete the square. So I take 8, divide it by 2, and I get 4. Don't forget that 2 in the front. Don't forget that 3 in the back. Now that I've completed the square, I have to balance out my C, just like I did yesterday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 4 as a perfect square. 4 by 4 is 16. And I'm going to subtract it from the 3 and multiply that 16 by this outside number to balance out what I took out. So see what I did was I took the C that I moved out. I took the perfect square, which was 16, times what is on the outside to balance it out. So now I have to do order of operations. So this is going to be 3 minus 16 times 2. What do you get? Negative 29. And that is your vertex form. Now, it makes sense because do you have an A? Yes. Do you have an H? Yes. Do you have an K? So let's just kind of have a quick review. What does the 2 tell us is happening? It is stretching, it's shrinking, it's getting skinnier. Is it positive or negative? Positive, so it opens up. What does this mean? left 4 because it's opposite, and it's going down 29. Now, what would be the vertex? -4, comma, -29. So we have efficiently taken standard form and changed it to vertex by completing the square.